Hello and welcome back. So the last video that I posted got a somewhat decent reception. I felt like I'd make another video and I posted a caption on Instagram asking what cars people wanted me to build, and there was a pretty wide variety of cars, but multiple people asked for the R34, so I thought, why not? You know, it's a very well-known car, quite overrated in my opinion, but you know, I'm going to keep my opinion separate from this. This is just a car that I've built on Forza because people asked me to. RB26 powered, 4-wheel drive. Obviously I only drift the rear wheel, so I will be converting it. I could swap a different engine into it. I go through the engine swaps that are available later on in the video, and I decided to keep this stock engine. It's ESDA legal. It does fit in with the regulations as far as I'm aware. Honestly, this car was a little bit of an irritating tune. It wasn't the easiest of things. Considering I've built them before, I thought I might have had a head start on this car. I was wrong. I haven't really been on Xbox as much recently, and you can kind of tell with the clip that I got of the car driving. Of course, same sort of format as last time. I show you the parts that I put on the car. If you are confused at any point, you can rewind and check what I put on, you know, along those lines sort of thing. If you want to put more power into it, feel free. It could probably do with a little bit more power. The tune that I make in the end is only around the 450, 460 horsepower mark. It is quite quick considering, but honestly it could probably, it would benefit from the extra horsepower, to be brutally honest. I just wanted to get something that was relatively easy to drive. I haven't put any upgrades on turbos, which you'll see later on, purely because the engine's relatively laggy anyways. I think these are only like 150 horsepower, and naturally, I'm not going to say that actually, I don't know how much horsepower they are naturally aspirated, but the turbo is relatively laggy on them. But yeah, so I ended up throwing the rear wheel drive conversion in. Like I said, I only drift rear wheel, and personally I don't enjoy all wheel. I feel like it's kind of too easy. Probably going to get slaughtered in the comments, but well, come at me. This car is built to my sort of enjoyment and my amusement. I like how it drives. It took a little bit of fettling to get to that point, but I do like how it drives, and it drives well for me. I'm on a relatively bad day driving wise today. The clip doesn't look too bad, but it's not as good as say the S13 clip or any of the clips on my Instagram. But no, like I said, ESDA legal, full cage, sport weight in the end. I think I tried to do race weight and throw 265s on it, but the race weight was a little bit too light. If I could have got this car to 2700, it would have been ideal, or 275s. Yeah, 275s. I would have preferred that. I feel like it might have been a little bit quicker on 265s with the amount of power that we've got. But alas, I had to use 285s. It's a very easy car to drive, this. Even though I'm on a bad day, if I'd hopped in my E36 or any of my other cars, it probably would have been really bad. But it wasn't. I got in this, I was fine, it drove really well. I can't complain about it. It's an easy car. You can hop in this car on just manual and it still works. Obviously, like I said last time, make sure your dead zone's on steering. If you go options, controller, advanced, steering dead zones, inner is 0, outer is 100, gives you the full range of movement with the thumbstick. Little tip for you all. This car is relatively smooth on a controller. Of course, I'm using a controller, you can see that in the bottom right corner, you can kind of tell from the twitches. It's a fun car. I can't complain too much. It kind of has a tendency to understeer, and it has got a little bit of a unpredictable front end grip sort of feature to it, but it works. So here is me driving on Suzuka. I'm going to stick with Suzuka for all of my builds. purely because it's easy. I don't know whether you'd like to see different tracks, but I feel like seeing each car on the one track, keeping it consistent, and hopefully it gives me a bit more practice on each track, and as time goes on the tunes and the driving can improve because I know the track a little bit better. Plus it's a returning track from Forza 4, which was the game that sort of got me into tandeming, so I can't complain too much. I ended up going really shallow on that end clip. So, this is the tune. Tyre pressure I ran a little bit weird last time, a couple of people asked me about it, but the reason is simple. Lower tyre pressure means that the tyre has a little bit more resistance, it's a bit more grip, so to speak. The game does include air heating up. It does. No arguments there. You can run 20 psi like I sometimes do, and it'll end up at 24, 25 psi after a couple of skids. So I've run it at this, it'll end up at 25. The front tyres, after a couple of runs, maybe a little bit of left foot braking, will end up at 30 psi, which is ideal. And it works. It works for me. I've had people that say it's a little bit weird, but it works strangely, and I'm happy that it does. So you can change it, like I said. This is the reason I'm doing this and not just sharing the tune, is so that everyone can fettle with everything. Gearing, I haven't played with. Well, I have. The car came standard, or not standard, but came with the race transmission as standard with I think it's 3.67 final drive. I played with that a little bit. I could probably get it to drive a lot better with different gearing completely and doing a full sort of set of custom gears, but I really can't be bothered. I'm going to be honest, it drives fine as it is now. It's easy enough to get to slide. It's relatively fast as well for when you and your friends want to drive. This is around the same speed as the S13. So if you want to drive the two together, it works. Alignment, relatively similar to the S13. I'm running a little bit more negative camber in the rear. Sort of similar on the toe, and again, 7 degrees of caster to make it a little bit smoother. It feels nice, it feels planted, and the front wheels are completely flat when you go around corners, due to the negative front camber as well. Anti-roll bars are a little bit weird, of course, softer in the rear. It's a very understeery car as sort of normal, so I couldn't run the normal anti-roll bars that I usually run. So I played with these, and this is what worked. It felt nice, it felt sort of stable for me, and the car didn't roll around too much during transitions, so hopefully you all enjoy it. In a second it'll change over to springs. So springs are confusing. I've run them a little bit stiffer than I would normally, just to see if it makes the car feel any different, and honestly it didn't. It should, but it didn't. When I was transitioning, the car felt really stable. You had to sort of swing it a little bit, and then you sort of counter steer a little bit early, and obviously the couple of 0.3 of an inch higher in the front for transitions. Rebound, I'm running kind of similar to the S13 again. It works. Putting it simple, it's really simple. It works. It's reliable, and I've never had a problem with it. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. No downforce. This car doesn't have any aero parts apart from body kit and the spoiler. Braking, again, same thing as last time. Run a little bit of bias towards the front so that when you left foot brake, the rear end swings around as opposed to the front end. And lower braking force, so left foot braking doesn't send you through the windscreen. With the differential, I played around a little bit with it. I did a little bit more work than I did on the S13, and I found that these settings are very nice. I enjoy them a lot. The car feels great with them. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you.